Hey everybody, it's Cy, and welcome to another Plan with me. So today, I thought that because clearly we are getting on in the month, and I planned to move to my new diary at the beginning of the next month. So TikTok, I need to get transferred. So here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about transferring any lists or trackers that we want to transfer. So specifically today, you're going to be planning with me. This is my work in progress tracker for mainly for crochet, but I think I have a couple of other things in here as well. But that is the well-used, year-old almost WIP list. So when we transfer this list into another book, you could actually just cut the page out if there's nothing meaningful on the back. This was just my November monthly, so I could just cut this out and stick it into my new planner. However, I like to make new stuff, you know me. I love the chance to just redo my planners, and this is one such opportunity. So, as you can see from here, I've got these highlighted things that I've actually managed to finish. So obviously those are not going to make their way onto the new planner. Simple enough. All right, let's get started because we need something for this to land on. Let's see, because it's a tracker, I would very much like it to be on a sort of sturdier paper. Um, I may or may not be able to do that, but let's have a look. Now, I'm using a binder for my new location, and as such, I can use any paper I like. I think that's what I like the most about the binder, is that I can use any type of paper. So I took some paper out of my craft stash, and all I did, I don't know if you can even see that, but I had it printed on both sides with a dot grid. You can find these dot grid printables on Pinterest, but I think this one came from septemberleather.com, judging by the little mark on it. So I'll put a link for that in the bottom of the video. But this is the paper that I'm going to be using, and it's very important that you test whatever paper you're going to use for what kind of pens will or will not work on it. And I found out that my precious dip pens will scratch the treated surface of this paper, and it makes it feather and stuff like that. So I did, however, discover that my fountain pen does work. And this is fantastic because it means I've got freedom of choice as far as ink goes. So that's, I don't know why that excites me so much, but it does. So let's make the paper first. All right. So I know that my new binder takes what you call slim A5. So if you open this up, you can see that the size of the pages is slim A5. Basically, I will use the 210 millimeter side as it comes, and I will be cutting it into widths of 12.2. So if you happen to have an A5 slim diary like this, it's 12.2 centimeters. Just a reference there. So let's get this out of the way. And I know that I'll be able to make 2 sheets with this. But do I want to? Here's the thing with my WIP list. I do go through my works in progress quite quickly, and as I cross more and more things off, I may need to replace this. So I think I'm just going to do the 1 sheet for now. So we measure, sorry, it's like off the bottom, but we measure our width of 12.2 and we cut. And just because I'm here, I will do that again. like that. So now I've got two, and I've got this strip. Don't throw this away. You can use this for lots of things. One thing I would use that for again is pen testing. If you want to use a different pen, most diaries have pen test pages in them, but because this is a binder and I'm making all my own pages, it's not. So I've recently bought this. It's an adjustable 6-hole punch. I have adjusted it to fit my diary, and let's just go. Let's just do this. Wait a minute. Now I'm being picky about what side I want to punch. That's silly, but it's me. It's just how I am. Okay. So, punchy, punchy. And that will now fit in the diary. Now, interestingly enough, I mean, I don't like to be overly critical about craft supplies, but I've got to say, this lovely set that I bought that has this full page die in it that I can cut a die that fits. It's great, but I have found that when I run the paper through, this area here tends to warp. And because of that, I think I would prefer to just cut these pages to size and punch them with my punch. But, you know, I love these other little things, especially the tabs. I'm going to get a lot of use out of those tabs, I think. Plus, I've got my tab punch, which will allow me to mark my pages. But I like tabs of different shapes, so I might experiment with that. Might play with that. Memo to self: do it later. Okay, so now that the cutting is over with and the punching is over with, we can get rid of these. And I mean, this is really just a matter of copying. You know, I'm not gonna dress it up to something it's not. Let's get back to that page. Where is it? Here it is. So this is my WIP list. Now, there's some stuff on here that I kind of organized incorrectly. I know it sounds weird, but I had sort of one tick box for something, and then I ticked one of them, and I realized I needed 4. So they look like they're in the wrong order, stuff like that. So I have the opportunity now to fix it. I'm also thinking about possibly changing the format of this because I don't know about you as a crafter, my WIPs tend to have categories. So there's the things that I'm sort of making, you know, from beginning to end, and then there's things like stash busters, which I've bracketed here. And those are sort of ongoing things. They're not the kind of WIP that you're like, oh, just get it done. It's got to be on standby just by virtue of what it is, which is a stash buster. And as you accumulate oddments, you would use up those oddments by doing the stash buster project. So they're not really WIPs in the same case as, for example, my peacock throw was, which I finished during this 100 days challenge. So, you know, I'm just thinking, do I want to categorize them? And if I do, how do I want to differentiate? And this is all the kind of thing that you would do when you're making your own. So, fellow crafters on Patreon, I would invite you to think about what projects you've got on the go. And if you are the type of person to start one, finish it, start a new one, you can use this kind of list to date them. It's almost like you could use it as a record. So you could say, oh, I started that on this date and I finished it on this date and then I started a new one. You know, so you could use this as a way to look back on your accomplishments if you are indeed in that enviable position of only having one thing to do at a time. Me, I'm a juggler, constantly a juggler. So we're going to mark off things that are not going to make it onto the new list. So I think I'll use a black Sharpie for this because there's nothing useful on the back, which I did establish before. So Peacock's Throw is gonzo. This hat done. I frogged that, which means I ripped it out because I didn't want to continue with it. That is still ongoing. Um, the socks obviously gone. The Stash Buster marble squares are done because I have run out of the yarn that I was using up making the squares. So that's done. Let's see, Climbing Rose Cowl I'm going to keep because I'm still going with that. 10 stitch Indonesian blanket still going. Cardigan still going. Bunting still going. These are done. I've got 2 at a time socks that I am doing, and I don't think I did anything else. I've got this wanna make list here. Now, until you start one of these, it does not go on the WIP list. So, and also if you're just going to do it from beginning to end, like I did with this one, just leave it there. So I am going to have to make 2 lists today, but those socks are done. Right. And this wingspan that I did start is going to go on the WIP list because it is in progress now. So I've got lots to think about and lots to write. So I'm going to go and do that, and I will come back to you when I have done that. Be right back. Hey, so we're back. Now, I was just doing some writing. I didn't do anything fancy or decorative at the moment because I'm really not equipped today. I'm just not prepared whatsoever. But the functionality is really what matters in this case. So I had 2 pages and I decided to make full use of both sides because I wanted to make room for other things to end up on the lists. So I've got a work in progress page. I have my Stash Busters in progress page. I've got my wanna make list, and I've got my design ideas list of things that I'm really seriously thinking about making. So under works in progress, just for a little overview of organization, I've got the name of the project here. And if it comes in parts, like the seasonal bunting is seasonal, so it's 4 parts, and the climbing rose cowl is in 4 parts, I've given each of the parts its own little checklist to say that it's been done. So if it's got a full X in it, it means it's finished. If it's got a half of an X in it, it means that it's been started. So that's what these 4 squares are for. I have normally 2 squares on my WIP list, and the first square gets ticked when I have worked on it. And it's not a specific time scale, it's just within the time that I've actually made this particular list, have I worked on it? And what I do is I pay close attention to the things that I'm just letting sit and I'm not actually working on. And those things I might consider abandoning if I've not been inspired enough to work on it, then I'm not going to work on it. So that's why I have a worked on tick box. And this box is obviously for finished. And even though I do like a celebratory cross out, I kind of like to have a finished tick box as well. I don't know why. I'm just strange. Um, so the Stash Buster one, same thing. Have I worked on it? Have I finished it? Now, by finished, I mean run out of the yarn I was trying to bust. So that's what that is, anyway. And nothing is ticked because this is a new diary and I haven't worked on anything on this list during the time period of the new diary yet. Now, perfectionists, please look away now. I want to show you what I've done. I accidentally, this is my wanna make list, and my 2 tick boxes for the wanna make list are, do I have the yarn and do I have the pattern? And I accidentally, for the hexagon jumper, which is here at the bottom, I accidentally ticked that I had the yarn. I do not, so I've left it. I accidentally ticked it, so what I did was, if you look real close, I don't know if you can even see it. Wow, that's good. Yeah, see it? You can just see it. I basically took another piece of paper and just stuck it on with double-sided adhesive and made a new empty thick box. I'm funny that way. And my design ideas, it's just a list. There's nothing specific on there because I do have a design diary and a design book, and I do work in that. So this is just like a reminder on a daily basis, and of work I can continue in another book. So now that I've got two double-sided sheets of notes on a particular subject, in this case, this is my crafting stuff. I'm going to want to create a section in the binder for that. And so I'm going to make myself a title page, like a section title page. And at the moment, I'm just going to do this quite simply and basically as a placeholder. So where is here it is. Okay, so I'm going to get out my handy dandy paper cutter, and I'm going to cut the paper to the right size. Now, if you've got a patterned paper, be mindful of what direction it's going to be in when you've cut it. I quite like it vertical like this. So that means that I've got to cut my width, 12.2 like we discussed, although I might go, because it's a section divider, I might just go 1 more millimeter, make it just a little bit bigger. So I've got that, and set my excess away to the side, and then I'm going to cut the length of it, which is still 21 centimeters. That's the length of an A5, like that. And later on, I can go and decorate it, and if you want to see that, do comment on this video. In fact, while we're on the subject of commenting, I would like to ask you, if you are following this Plan With Me series and you are enjoying it, if there's any kind of subject you'd like to see me cover on Plan With Me, then please do add your comments down below, and I will make sure that I read them and take them into account. And that way I can at least answer your questions for you. That's what I'm hoping to do. So that said, let's move on. Every divider needs a tab, right? Now, don't come for me, but I love these pages that come in these 12 by 12 paper packs, but I have no use for this. and the background was plain enough and just interesting enough, but just plain enough to actually write on. So I've been using this paper to make tabs for my dividers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop this up here so that I've got a nice blank section. And now when you punch, I don't know if you've ever seen, using a paper punch, but if you're going to do this and you want to save paper, really line it up so that it's almost at the edge, and then you punch your shape out. And you see how you're not wasting quite that much? Just a quick little tip out of nowhere. Can't slide that down, so I guess I'll just make something else with this. Yeah? The cool thing about this punch, it's a We Are Memory Keepers punch. And the cool thing about it is that if you do punch like this, it also has a further reach on it. So you can punch one directly above that one, and it's just easy to line up. So, and I like to cut these little sections off so that I can reach the punch into these other areas later on. Nothing is wasted in my craft room. I take useful parts of everything I can find. I mean, that probably can't use that for anything. That will get recycled. But I have very small pieces of paper around, and this is why. Now, how many did I make? For some reason, I made 3. I'm sure I've got a little box of tabs somewhere. If you do own a punch, by the way, I would say if you're going to get into this and you really enjoy doing this and you want to save some money, these punches are a great investment because you can take any offcut. I mean, for example, I've got this now, and I've got that size from the entire pack of paper that I've been using. See? And you can use these for other things. For example, I've got this lovely tag die, and would you look at that? I could cut the tag out of that, and I'd still have enough for maybe 2 or maybe even 4 tabs. So, you know, don't get rid of your offcuts. Keep them, because this paper is expensive, and, you know, save a tree. But I digress. Right, now what I like to do with the tabs is I use double-sided tape, and for some reason I can't find my narrow double-sided tape, which stinks. But for now, I guess I'll have to just like cut it in half or something. Yeah, I'll just cut it in half. Right. Cut it in half. You're seeing me cut a piece of tape in half. This is what you're paying for, Patreon. Exciting. Okay, so I'm going to stick, oh gosh, I need it all the way across the bottom. So I'll probably trim this later. So I've got that one, and then this one. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but I'm just not invested in finding it. Okay. I'm going to make a double-sided tab with this. I'm an idiot. I just realized that I didn't have to put that on there. Okay, so got this. I've sort of mooshed the adhesive in there a little bit. And now, not until I'm ready, and when I'm ready to put this in the book, I'm going to stick them together. Not ready yet. So I'm going to first punch my edge. So I've got my edge punched. And then I'm going to get the binder out. Sorry, I like turned away from you there. But so I'm going to get the binder out. I will probably go and do these little reinforcements later on. I'm not going to do it right now. But what I wanted to see was, where are my other tabs? Because I don't want things to get lost. So I think I could put one right up here. Yeah, I'll put one right up there. So this is probably, I don't even know where this is going to go yet. I think I'll put it on the other side of the notebook, so I'll put it over here. Because this is going to be my tracker section and also my crafty tracker section. So now that we've got that, I'm going to stick this right at the top, like that. I'm going to flip the page over. It's still got some adhesive here, but I do want a little bit to end up where the tab actually is going to be on this side of the paper. So just do that. Double-sided tape deployed. I'm going to line this up the best I can. Perfectionists, look away now. Trigger warning. Okay, and then there we go. Stick it on. And there it is. That's my tab. So that's where we are at the moment, and that is going to now be a good place. What is that? That's just some extra paper. Okay, that's good. Gotta have extra paper in here after all. What am I going to write on otherwise? Okay, so this is my works in progress page. I'm going to put that there. And my stash busters are here. My wanna make list is here. And my design ideas is here. And as you can see, I've already somehow managed to get it wet, but that's okay because I'm a messy person and it's a messy diary. Honestly, guys, ditch the perfectionism because it will only frustrate you. Um, that's my message for the day. So that is my section that I've made today. Later on, I will probably go and be creative and I'll put something on here and maybe I'll use like a different pattern or something over the top and make it interesting. But that is the crafty side, and today was definitely about the functional side. What do you prefer? Do you prefer crafty or do you prefer functional? I would love to see your feedback because this is your series, patrons. I am doing what you want to see. So I really do value and hope to get your feedback. But that section made, I guess that's enough for this week. I don't want to bore you too much. I've been Cy for Happy Accident Studios. That was my old thing. I have been Cy for Unravel and Unwind, and this is the Patreon. And I just want to thank all of you for your support. And please join me next week for another plan with me. Bye, everybody.